Another National Football Association has pulled its support for FIFA President Gianni Infantino. Norway now is calling for him to resign with immediate effect. Now, the associations of England, Wales, Croatia and Albania have all withdrawn support, but they haven't yet said that he should step down. Mexico and Argentina are backing the beleaguered world football boss, who's refusing to step down. Dr Jan Zglinski is an associate professor at LSE and an expert in sports law and regulation and joins us now. And Dr Zglinski, I wonder what you think could happen next and what Infantino's opponents might get up to next. What are they able to do?
Well, one thing is for sure, if the latest FIFA statement was meant to calm down things in world football, it seems to have done the exact opposite. There's a full-blown civil war raging right now. You've already mentioned the national associations. UEFA, of course, stands firm in its opposition against Infantino. So does CONCACAF and the AFC. CONMEBOL has published a surprisingly critical statement, the Players Union, FIFA as well. So the only real allies right now remaining are the African Confederation and Mexico and Argentina, which have broken rank with their own confederation. So I think the critics still have the majority, and they'll now be thinking hard about their options, because the longer this progresses, the easier it will be for Infantino to deflect. We've heard last week talk about an extraordinary FIFA Congress that would be the most direct way of getting rid of Infantino. The problem with that is it requires 20% of associations to support it. Well, that's not an awful lot of associations. That's 43. UEFA on its own would have that. But it, of course, escalates things quite dramatically. We haven't heard anyone propose that in a formal way. The normal route to get rid of Infantino would be to wait until next March, when the next ordinary FIFA Congress will take place in Morocco. Then challengers can throw their hat in the ring. We've heard talks of Victor Montalbano from CONCACAF and Canada wanting to step in. We've heard rumors about Nasser Al-Khelaifi from PSG and UEFA. Lisa Klaveness, the Norwegian football president, who's spoken out today in a quite forceful way against Infantino, could also be an interesting progressive candidate and the first woman to lead FIFA. So it will remain to be seen how quickly things moved. If these extraordinary congresses don't happen between now and next month, the big question is, what will happen with the under-20 Women's World Cup? Because that's meant to take place in Poland. UEFA has, of course, said it will boycott any FIFA tournaments. Now the question is, will it stick to its guns, or will it qualify its statement?
My goodness. What happens then if he does just dig his heels in? He will continue through till March despite all this criticism. That's a possibility. In the meantime, then, those potential challengers to his job that you mentioned there, I guess they're just on standby, are they, waiting for the possibility that there might have to be an emergency election?
I mean, look, Infantino is clinging on. That in itself is remarkable. A few days ago, it was unimaginable that he'd be still standing here and organizing press releases. We must keep in mind, this man is a fighter. He has a decade of experience in world football. He's well known for forging alliances, for using privileges and loyalties and money to maintain these alliances. And I am 100% sure he will try to make use of those skills quite strategically right now. There was one anecdote from the Wednesday summit in Rabat that's quite telling. He was apparently talking to the Moroccan representatives and saying, if you support me, if you convince the African Confederation to vote for me, I will give you the World Cup final in 2030. These are the kind of quid pro quos that he's really good at. And he will try his best to get over the finish line and make it at the very least till next March.
And if he does, is that the point when, under new leadership, there can be some sort of radical reform, because there are certainly plenty of people who say that FIFA needs reform now, aren't there?
Yes, that's absolutely right. And for me, the key thing is now to get the focus right. This was never just about a bad deal. This was never just about a bad president. FIFA is the symptom, not the root cause of the problems we're seeing in world football. This organization is seriously misgoverned. Too little checks and balances, too little external accountability. There's a conflation between commercial and regulatory functions, which is causing massive conflicts of interest. So what we really need is the kind of structural reform we were promised a decade ago after the 2015 scandals. I think forces within the football world need to push for that. That includes federations, clubs, players, but also forces outside the football world need to push for that. Andy Burnham has been quite vocal about the problems at FIFA. So has Canada's Mark Carney and the European Commissioner Glenn McAuliffe. They could help affect real change here by regulating football more proactively.
Jan Zglinski, thank you very much. This story just keeps on going, and we will stay across it here at Times Radio.
Now let's move smoothly on to the world of sport with Charlie Talbot-Smith, sports news editor on the Times' sports desk. I wonder what we're going to talk about.
I'm afraid the battle lines have been drawn there, but they're digging in, and this story is going to run and run. Yeah, we're talking about FIFA and Gianni Infantino. The latest this morning is that the Norwegian FA, Lise Klaveness, who we interviewed a couple of weeks ago, probably the most outspoken of all the governing bodies in world football against Gianni, even before Martin Ziegler broke this story about the plan to sell off a stake in the World Cup. She's this morning issued an extremely punchy statement about how she wants Gianni to resign. She wanted Gianni to resign last week, and still wants him to. Meanwhile, we've got the Mexican FA, who have broken ranks from the CONCACAF body and have supported Gianni. As Martin Ziegler writes, that could be related to the fact that they are hoping to host the 2029 Club World Cup. It's just all a bit grubby, isn't it? You know, we had this story earlier in the week about Infantino offering Morocco the 2030 World Cup final if they were to come out in support. It just, if he's doing all this stuff to try and save his skin, it's just further evidence really that he's not the right man to be the president of the job in the first place, is he?
Absolutely. It's kind of horse trading happening in full public view. It's all very Trumpian.